Enforcing the law or an intimidation tactic? Big questions tonight hanging over the arrest of several protesters in Phoenix, some seeing their charges dismissed.
ABC 15's Zach Crenshaw live outside police headquarters where protesters took to the streets Friday night. Zach?
Yeah, Katie, quite literally, they were laying down here in the middle of Washington, which is why Phoenix police arrested 12 of them for obstructing a thoroughfare, which is a misdemeanor. But instead of issuing them a citation and letting them go home, they booked all of them into jail overnight.
They don't want us in these streets.
We were standing in solidarity with the march in Washington.
Christopher Johnson, who goes by Alex, has been protesting for months now.
Talk is cheap. We want to see some change.
He says Friday night, though, was more of the same from Phoenix PD.
We were leaving, then they pulled all of us out of the cars and arrested all of us.
Johnson, one of 12, booked into MCSO's jail.
I didn't get released until 1:00 p.m. the next day.
His crime?
Obstructing a thoroughfare, and it was dismissed.
In all, 5 protesters, including one who a judge deemed overcharged with a felony, were immediately released.
I don't find probable cause for the offense that you were arrested for, so you're going to be let go without any sort of restrictions.
Do you consider that a failure?
I don't consider that a failure. That's just something that we deal with in police work where we sometimes have to add additional information.
Phoenix police can still resubmit charges with more evidence. But why would they even book protesters on misdemeanor charges in the first place? Especially after Chief Williams said this in March.
We're making every attempt to minimize transportation and exposure to the jails. If the situation is violent or dangerous, they will transport as necessary.
Particularly in the time of COVID, when they have the discretion to be able to cite and release, they should not be arrested.
And they want to shut us up. They want to dissuade us from coming out.
I can say for sure that it is not the case. Our arrests are not made to make a statement or to scare people.
ASU criminology professor Dr. Ed McGuire said he can't speak on the specifics of Friday, but has studied protests for years.
It is a common approach in policing, not necessarily a positive one, to make arrests at protests where the charges are later thrown out. And the arrest ends up being, more punitive.
Now, this isn't an isolated incident. Back in May, more than 100 protesters had their charges dismissed after Phoenix police officers used a cut-and-paste probable cause statement. That attorney who you just heard from says bookings in these instances is a massive waste of time and energy on the department. Live downtown, Zach Crenshaw, ABC 15, Arizona.